Hey audio friends, got a good one for you today. Let's see what's in the box. This, my friends, is the Rosson Rad Zero. It's beautiful. Let's look at it. Okay, so obviously it comes with a big, nice hard case, right? This is one of the nicer ones of these that I've seen. Very robust, very nice. Wouldn't have any trouble shipping one in this. Accessories, got a nice cloth cable here. Feels pretty chunky. I didn't use it much. I used a silver cable that came with this particular model, and I used the heart system that I've got in 3.5 millimeter, because yes, despite this being a very expensive, very nicely made headphone, it's still got a 3.5 millimeter port on it. So thank you for that. Love it. You know, the other interesting thing here about accessories before we really gush over the build here is it also comes with like a suspension strap and like a little toolkit that I assume is to swap this in. I didn't do that since it wasn't my own, but I feel like it's probably pretty easy to do just looking at it. And look at it, we should, because this thing, like, look at these cups, dude. This is just beautiful. Like, I mean, come on. What gorgeous. Like, I don't know too much about the process here. Some type of epoxy, obviously, that's in this thing. But, like, oh my gosh, is this thing the most beautiful headphone I've ever looked at? I think it probably is. More than any other headphone that I've ever used, like, I feel like this thing is like a piece of art. It feels so robust. Like, look at the swivel of these cups. Like, it's so smooth and like just the perfect amount of resistance. The pads are huge, cushy things. Like, oh, it feels so good to touch and to hold. Now, it is a big headphone, and it's a little on the heavy side, so it's not the most comfortable headphone in the world. I actually got kind of fatigued from it, and normally weight doesn't bother me too much, but even about, like, after a half hour, 45 minutes of listening, like, you can feel it. It's a heavy headphone. It's a very heavy headphone. If it was mine, I probably would swap the suspension strap in and give that a shot, but, you know, like I said, I only had a very limited time with this, so I didn't want to mess around with that type of stuff. Pads, big, thick. Look how cushy that is. Like, that's very, very cushy. Like a suede velour type material on the inside and what feels like a protein leather on the outside. You can see there's a pretty generous pad on the top of the headband there, but even still, you can feel it. You can feel it. It's not uncomfortable. Like, it's not uncomfortable the first, like, when I put it on. It doesn't bother me, but again, after some time, it starts to wear on me a little bit. But, I mean, oh, geez, like, the materials, the metal, the cups, the pattern, it all just feels so nice, and it's such a beautiful headphone. Like, the colors, I mean, it looks a little extreme, but it's such a good color combination that I just really just kind of love it. Like, I love the turquoise. I love kind of the amber accents in it. And then you got this little bit of white and blue mixed in here, and just the swirls and the patterns. Like, I just think it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful headphone. I love it. I would love to see more headphones do something like this cut material. Like, I mean, maybe it's contributing to the weight of it, but boy, is it beautiful. Just can't state that enough. Okay, but let's talk about sound, right? I mean, we all got to know how it sounds. In this headphone, it sounds as good as it looks. Like, it sounds phenomenal. I mean, it's not an overly technical headphone, okay? This isn't the type of headphone that you're going to, like, sit down and really just, like, super analyze music. Like, that's not what this thing is about. This thing is life and just meaty bass and just texture and atmosphere and soundstage and just it's got excellent timbre throughout all the frequencies. Like, it's a very well balanced headphone, but just with a lot of dynamic like slam. It just is fun, and it's music listening that you can dive into and look for details, but you don't feel like you have to. You just put it on and you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself. Separation is excellent. I thought the soundstage and just like the spatial information is just really, really good on this thing. And all that is just balanced super well with that thick, meaty bass that it's got. Like, I just thought it was a complete joy to listen to, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like, I really love listening to this headphone. It's not the most difficult thing in the world to drive. I mean, it's only 28 ohms impedance, but I listened on, I think it's like the Matrix Mini I or something like that. I got something on loan, a Matrix thing on loan from APOS that I tried, and that sounds really, really good with this. And then I'm giving the Hifi Man EF400 another listen, because I kind of am in between amps at this point in time. So I'm doing that too. I also listen on my X-Can, and I didn't think with the X-Can, it didn't quite have... It wasn't all there. It was still enjoyable to listen to, but it was a little bit duller. Didn't have as much life. Didn't have as much dynamics. Spatial information wasn't as well defined. But on either the AF400 or particularly the Matrix, I thought it sounded really, really good with these, and drove it just fine and sounded very clear. Like I said, just great spatial information, good tonal balance, all that stuff. It's not what I would call a neutral headphone in a good way, right? Like, it's not so extreme in its like energy that it seems unnatural, but it's got just like a hint of like Technicolor was the word that came to my mind, right? It's like slightly enhanced reality or slightly enhanced recording, if you want to think of it that way, right? It's not so crazy that it draws your attention away from the music. It's like so well done that it brings you more in and kind of just emphasizes the right things and just makes it fun, and again, just easy to enjoy is really what this headphone is all about. So thanks to my friend who let me try this out, because honestly, this isn't a headphone that I really had a whole lot of interest in, and I probably never would have tried it, but he just had one and he offered to send it, and I was like, yeah, why not? But boy, am I glad I got the experience to do it. I think, I mean, we're talking about a $2,000 plus headphone, so I think it's one of those headphones that like you really have to commit to if you want to own it. At least most of us would, right? And it's going to be competing with things like, the Atriums and, Verite Opens and Meze Elites and, all that kind of high-end stuff. So, HE1000s, etc., right? So but I think, honestly, it really competes. I think on just about all levels. The only place it falls short from most of those other headphones that I'm talking about here is just long-term comfort because of the weight. But outside of that, I think it's a player in build. I think it's a player in sound quality. I think it's a player in engagement and fun as far as music listening goes. So I'm impressed. Like I said, probably the most beautiful headphone I've ever seen and touched and felt, and just it's wonderful. It's a fantastic headphone. So if you've been thinking about it, considering going for it, the only hesitation I would give you is the weight issue. Outside of that, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I can't imagine somebody not enjoying this headphone. So I think that's going to do it. Beautiful headphone. Super glad I got to try it. Thanks to you, as always, for being with me for the channel, for trying these things out. I always appreciate you being here. If you have any experience with this headphone, drop comments down below, and, stay tuned, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.